Good morning to everybody who's joining us in today's webinar of the Inside Nigeria webinar series. We'll give participants a few minutes before we start, as people are currently signing in. So very warm welcome to those who are already on the line. We'll monitor participation, and in a few minutes we'll start. It's still 2 minutes to our official starting time. So get comfortable in your seats so that you can enjoy the ride with us. For those that don't know me, my name is Kat. You should see my full name, Katharina Felgenhauer. I'm the Delegate of German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria. So today's host for this session. Some of you may also know that this session is one session in a series that we call the Inside Nigeria series, in which every week we give you some insights into key markets or key segments in Nigeria or beyond. So today is So we're still counting participants that are joining us this morning. So we'll still give it a few minutes before we launch today's program. So I see people are signing in. For those who are just joining us now, we are waiting a few minutes as people are signing onto this webinar session. So welcome if you've just joined. We will be starting in a few minutes. All right. It is now 11 a.m. Lagos time. It is 10 a.m. in Accra, which is relevant because in today's session of our webinar series, Inside Nigeria, we have guest speakers who are based in Accra. I will shortly introduce them to you. So we are working across time zones, and I'm pretty sure we also have some of our participants who may be sitting in other locations that are different from Lagos and Accra, few people from Germany or from other places. So a very warm welcome to all of you here in Lagos. As I said, it's 11 a.m. So good morning. If it's already afternoon where you are or early morning where you are, the same warm welcome. We're glad to have you here today in this webinar session, part of the Inside Nigeria webinar series. I will start with a few minutes of introduction as we continue to see people joining us this morning. So if you're already here, you will not get bored. And then in a few minutes, we will launch the official main program, which should give you very interesting insights today, not only on Nigeria, but also on West Africa as the region. But I'll speak more about that in a minute. If you have just joined, again, a very warm welcome. My name is Kat, full name Katharina Felgenhauer. Your screens. I am the Delegate of German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria, working for the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria, also known as AHK, or in Nigeria as DGIC. Just think of us as the German Chamber of Commerce if you don't know us yet. In today's webinar session, we're actually having a special session. As some of you may know, this is part of a webinar series that we call the Inside Nigeria webinar series, where every week we give you insights into a specific sector or industry, mostly in Nigeria. But today's session is very special, and we're happy you can witness this because we're welcoming our colleagues from the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana, based out of Accra, who are looking after Ghana and Francophone West Africa. We have actually 3 guest speakers because of the region that they cover. We at the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria are quite busy with Nigeria, but AHK Ghana is covering Ghana and Francophone West Africa. So you will hear more about that in a minute. We have an exciting program to cover. We'll keep it interesting and lively because you can always contact any of us for more information. Our topic today is COVID-19 and West Africa. We will be focusing on the impact on business development, and more interestingly, even the outlook in the region. So we'll look at the opportunities that lie ahead of us, even though we're going through this COVID-19 Corona times. So welcome to everybody who has joined in the meantime. I would like to briefly introduce our speakers today so that you know who is going to present information to you, and then swiftly hand over as we start with the main program. So I'm very, very honored to welcome in today's sessions my former direct colleagues at AHK Ghana. I used to work there. We have the delegate, Dr. Michael Blank, who will speak first. He is heading the AHK office in Ghana, and again, AHK Ghana is looking after Ghana and Francophone West Africa. We have Richard Eko-Mensah, who is heading the DE International Department. That is the department that is providing business support services, market research services, and the likes to clients for Ghana. And then, as I mentioned, AHK Ghana is also looking after Francophone West Africa. And we are very honored to welcome Noémie Simon, who is the regional coordinator at AHK Ghana. She is French herself, perfectly trilingual, or even more. I'm not sure, Noémie, you can correct me later. But she is your key contact person for Francophone West Africa. And then I myself will also make some contributions about Nigeria. Again, my name is Kat, heading the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria. This is as a brief introduction. You will learn more about the speakers as we move forward. And I would like to pass the virtual mic to the Delegate of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana, Dr. Michael Blank, for a few words. Over to you, Michael.
Yes, thank you very much, Pat, for your extremely friendly introduction. And thanks, of course, for inviting us to this webinar series. I understand it's one of quite a few webinars that you've already organized. And I think it's an excellent initiative that you've been doing. By the way, it's a shame that we needed a pandemic like Corona to teach us how to deal with new channels of communication. And I guess overall, let's see Corona as an opportunity, therefore. Too much has been said already in regard to challenges that the pandemic gives us. Let's maybe today, and I think it's really good, focus on positive aspects and on business opportunities. I don't want to anticipate our speakers who will come in a minute, and they will most certainly focus on opportunities rather than giving a, let's say, doomsday scenario. But let me very briefly start from our point of view and share with you 3 observations and 3 lessons that we've learned so far from Corona. Number 1, from the government side, I think government has learned not to rely too heavily on foreign supply. The Ghanaian government realizes that it might be a good idea to shift the policy a little bit towards the strengthening of the local production when it comes to medical supply and to the food sector. And that also might go hand in hand with a stronger initiative led by the Ghanaian government for the African Continental Free Trade Area, which, after all, is the attempt to strengthen the supply chain, at least within the region, at least within Africa. So this Corona might really give a boost to the African Continental Free Trade Area. And as you know, its secretariat is based here in Accra. From the companies, what they have learned from our perspective, from our point of view, is they should prepare for an even more digital workspace and digital work environment. Home office solutions will no doubt gain in importance versus office solutions. And this might be, again, a great opportunity for many companies operating here in Africa. The need and the demand for IT infrastructure here in Africa will most certainly increase. And that, again, might also help if the demand increases to increase the supply. And that's good news for Africa, and that's particularly for Ghana and for Nigeria, I guess. And last but not least, the lessons that a facilitator like the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce here in Africa might have learned is to think out of the box and to look beyond your own nose, so to speak. A few months ago, we might definitely not have set up a virtual meeting with German and African companies as we do right now. And now we do. Now we do it even beyond borders, as Kat has initiated it. The next chapter in this regard would maybe come as connection between West African and our colleagues from all over the world. Why not try to connect West African companies and German companies operating in West Africa with, let's say, Dubai, Hong Kong, Atlanta, and Johannesburg for very promising destinations for businesses based here in Africa as well. So business opportunities abound, not only in Nigeria, not only in Ghana or West Africa, worldwide. And with the help of the virtual technologies, it might be much easier to connect and to create some business opportunities on the platform of our offices. I guess this should be enough as a brief introduction. Once again, Kat and your team, thanks for inviting us. And let's now see what our experts on particular business fields and on particular countries here in West Africa have to say.
Thank you very much, Michael, for those encouraging words. As you can tell, the network of the delegations of German industry and commerce in West Africa, but also beyond, is working very closely together to make sure that in the middle of this pandemic, site of opportunities. And we're also here to make sure that you get all the support you need to explore those opportunities. A short housekeeping for those who are not too familiar with Zoom. In the chat function, you can actually raise comments or questions while we speak, because today's session will be fairly interactive between the speakers we have here. So don't hesitate to raise your questions during the session by typing them into the chat and send them to the panelists. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts and viewpoints. As much as we want to focus on opportunities, we have to take stock of where we are in terms of COVID-19 in West Africa. And here again, we will focus on what is being done about the challenges of COVID-19. Remind you that with the speakers that we have today, we're covering Nigeria, Ghana, and Francophone West Africa. Francophone West Africa, including Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, but also Togo, Benin. But Noemi Simon, our regional coordinator based out of Ghana, will pick a few examples from those countries. Richard Ikomensa will focus on Ghana, and I myself will focus on Nigeria. So I will kickstart the discussion with a question actually to Richard. Of course, also in Ghana, we see plenty of challenges that are caused directly or indirectly by COVID-19. What is being done about it in Ghana?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I think I would like to proceed with a little bit of slide, if that will be okay. Yeah, okay, let me share the slide. Trying to locate the desktop. Yeah.
So we're witnessing the challenges and opportunities live of our communication. So bear with us as we figure things out.
Yeah.
It's coming up, Richard.
Yeah, ideally. Is it presentable now?
I'm still seeing your OneDrive, which I doubt is.
Okay. Okay, let me just quickly.
Opening the document now, then we're with you in a minute. By the way, welcome to all the participants that have joined us in the meantime. You have joined right at the right point as we're starting our conversation with our colleague from Ghana, who will kick off the discussion about COVID-19 in Ghana. We will also hear from, this colleague is Richard Ekomensa, based out of Accra. We will also hear from Noémie Simon, who's the regional coordinator for Francophone West Africa at the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana, based out of Accra. You missed, if you just joined, the welcome impulse from Dr. Michael Blank, who's the Delegate of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana, and myself. My name is Kat, Delegate of German Industry and Commerce here in Nigeria. So we're hoping that Richard can pull up his presentation in the meantime and give you an introduction about COVID-19 in Ghana and what is being done about it.
Okay. You're saying see my desktop?
No, still the OneDrive, not your presentation.
Oh, what's going on?
Sorry,
yeah. Let me get this one sorted. Okay.
But you didn't share your desktop, but the app.
Yeah, let me get this one.
So you're witnessing digital transformation live as we're all growing through the challenges, but also exploring the opportunities that new technology gives us.
Is it live now?
Yes, it's not yet. Yes,
okay.
There, you're good to go, Richard.
Thank you very much. Apologies for the technical hitch. Yeah, this is the new norm now, which everybody have to cope with it. Yeah, before I go to the section of what has been or how the challenges in Ghana has been addressed, first I would like to let the participants have an overview of the current situation of the coronavirus cases in Ghana. So as it stands now, this as at yesterday, with a death rate of 112 over a little bit of 100, which is, ideally not a panic situation as compared to some of the countries in the sub-Saharan Africa or in the region, maybe notably comparing to South Africa, which has the highest death rate too. So these are actually the standing deal with Ghana. Yeah. Let me begin now to talk about how the challenges caused by COVID being addressed in Ghana. Well, Ghana is among the few countries in the region to carry out aggressive testing to curb the spread of coronavirus since it came to our shores on the 12th of March 2020 this year. And basically, Ghana is operating with three principles. That is to test, trace, and treat patients or who are identified to be or having the infection. Yeah. So the fight has been largely been driven by governments. As well as supported by the private sector. Yeah. For government, since as I indicated, the first case in Ghana was recorded, the first two cases in Ghana were recorded in March, but through that Ghana, the government of Ghana initiated some measures or in preparation to fight the negative impact of COVID-19 in Ghana. And it began by setting aside a soft loan, about $100 million dollars to make Ghana fight this pandemic. Yeah. This money was set aside also, to expand the infrastructure, health infrastructure in Ghana, also to purchase medical equipment, including PPEs, and also to intensify public education about coronavirus pandemic in Ghana. In addition, the government of Ghana, out of about 1.2 billion cedis that was allocated for small and medium-sized enterprises. 600 have been a stimulus package, basically to support the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, which has been hardly hit by this pandemic. Yeah, and these soft loans are being supervised by the National Board for Small Scales Enterprises in Ghana under the Coronavirus Alleviation Program in Ghana. So businesses have the opportunity to tap into these available resources, and they have about 1 year moratorium and 2 years repayment period. And this source of facility, have the minimum interest rate in the market, Ghana market at the moment, about 3% interest rates. The government of Ghana saw that the burden is being too much for the average Ghanaian. So it absorbed the 3 months electricity and water bill of low income earners, let me put it that way. And that was for the months of April, May, and June. And for low income earners, the electricity bill were below 50 kilowatts per hour. And other consumers who are above this category also enjoy 50% discount rate on the electricity and water bill. Yeah. The Central Bank of Ghana also went ahead to further reduce policy rate from Ghana by some 150 points, reducing it from 16% to 14.5%. This is also to make the commercial banks in Ghana to loan to businesses on a more considerable interest rates. Well, and it's not end there. The government of Ghana also, as part of their plans to absorb the shock in Ghana, also made businesses who their filing of tax returns were due. The government initiated a policy to extend filing of annual returns as well for businesses. Well, since the president of Ghana is the one who is driving this fight, that is something that he has stressed on, that in most of his speech, that he knows how to put the economy back, but does not know how to bring people back to life. So through his initiative, has begun to construct about 94 hospitals in Ghana, and each hospital is to have about 100 bed facility, and this will be completed within 1 year. Yeah. So this is a big initiative the government of Ghana has started looking into to make it happen before this coronavirus pandemics take a hold of the economy. Yeah. In addition, he also stressed on it that as a country, we cannot even boast of testing centers in Ghana. So he will also put his team together in constructing about 50 more testing centers across the country in testing of the coronavirus. Yeah, because the fight globally, the fight in this, as recommended by WHO, is to test and test more in addition to fight this coronavirus. So this is one of the initiative of the government to test more by creating more testing centers across the country. Well, in Ghana at the moment, we have two major institutions that are carrying out these testings. That's the Noguchi and the Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research. Yeah, but as I indicated, the fight is a collective one, both for the private, both government-driven and also private sector, lay or bringing helping hands, or in the direction of alleviating of running ahead in the fight of COVID-19 in Ghana. Well, the private sector have initiated a private sector fund called the COVID-19 Private Sector Fund, and I've welcomed businesses across Ghana to make contributions to this fund. And the major focus is to construct 100-bed COVID-19 treatment and isolation facility in Ghana. And just today in the news, this particular project is about 85% completed. Yeah. Well, commercial banks in Ghana has also made advance about 3 billion Ghana cedis, and this has been mostly influenced by the central bank as they cut down policy rates and to make liquidity accessible to most businesses in Ghana. So these are some of the initiative from the private sectors as well. And donations are also being made to the Ghana COVID-19 Trust Fund as well, both in terms of equipment or medical facility as well as cash. Yeah, I think this is where I will end for now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Richard, for this introduction to Ghana. We'll hand over, as you can see on the slide, to Noémie Simon for some highlights of how is COVID-19 being addressed in Francophone West Africa. I see the examples could be Côte d'Ivoire and Senegal. Noémie, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Yes, as you mentioned, Kat, before, HK Ghana is also covering the Francophone countries. Maybe, Richard, you can show us the map, take us to the next slide. So these are the countries we are talking about. Maybe we go directly to the next slide to see the number of cases in the different countries. So you see that Cameroon is the country with the highest number of cases, but everywhere we have a very low number of deaths, which is quite good to know. To quickly go to the topic of today, I mean, we can see on the next slide the economic impact on the region, on the Francophone countries of the UEMOA, MOA, especially on the exports of cocoa, on cashew oil and cash crops in general, and also on the agricultural sector and tourism and travel activities. This is valid for the entire region, actually. To respond to these challenges or to the general challenges of the COVID-19 in the region, the governments have implemented in the country similar measures to what Richard just presented concerning, yes, closing of borders, curfews, lockdowns, and also the financial measures for companies for the most vulnerable sectors, for the informal sector also, and for payment of rent and electricity bills, etc. I will just pick, and also, of course, for the SMEs with the reduction in taxes and financing some of the sectors and reduce some of their costs. I will pick some examples from two countries. If we can show the next slide. from Côte d'Ivoire and Senegal. These are 2 or 4 examples of measures, innovative measures or measures that have been put in place to fight the pandemic. In Abidjan, they were quite quick to put in place or to implement screening centers, patient management centers, and quarantine sites and testing centers for the whole region of Abidjan. And they also quickly supported the cocoa sector and attributed 300 billion francs CFA. It means approximately 457 million euro to the agricultural sector, including an amount for the food sector and for cash crops especially. So I think it is quite important to know, because we all know that Côte d'Ivoire, the cocoa sector, is one of the pillar of the economy. And in Senegal, there has been some controversy around the treatment of patients with hydroxychloroquine, but we can see that in Senegal the number of recoveries is quite good compared to the number of cases. So I don't know if you have heard of Professor Raoult, which is a French professor who was testing also hydroxychloroquine in France. It was quite a debate. And Senegal was one of the West African countries who also followed that line. Is also linked to the fact that Professor Raoult also comes or was born in Dakar and has a strong link to Senegal. This is just like an anecdote. And another anecdote would be that Senegal was also the first country to order the herbal drug from Madagascar, COVID Organics. We have heard a lot also in the media here in the region about it. It was also quite polemic, but it's just to show also that in the region there is quite the desire and the motivation to innovate and to try local solutions. In Senegal too, the government also started to produce a lot of COVID-19 tests and developed also quite innovative solutions. For example, Dr. Car is like a doctor robot implemented in hospital to avoid that doctors have to be in contact with patients, similar to what we have seen maybe in Rwanda, or I think in South Africa as well. And they also, some NGOs or organizations created also the app Alerte Santé Sénégal, which is also quite innovative and goes also in the like it's boosting, like the pandemic has enabled to boost certain areas like the digital economy. But maybe we will see how it was in Nigeria first, and then we will come, I think, to the opportunities and to the sectors.
Thank you very much, Noemi. I'm just going to wrap up with a few details from Nigeria. It's interesting to see what's happening in the region, because here in Nigeria, we've also seen that in particular in the startup world, there's rapid innovation in terms of telemedicine, data management, data collection through open source applications and similar, that we're also supporting as delegation of German industry and commerce in Nigeria. From the government side as well, we economic stimulus packages or relief packages, both from the Central Bank of Nigeria, but also from international partners like the African Development Bank, the IMF, World Bank. These economic stimulus packages are generally targeted at diversifying the economy and at strengthening local production, which leads me to my next question in a minute. Similar to what we've seen in Ghana, we have a very strong private sector initiative, the Private Sector Coalition Against COVID-19, whose aim it is to collect more than 276 million euros. To date, they have collected about 1/4 of that amount. that money is being used for emergency relief, distribution of food aid, equipment of medical facilities, and the construction of isolation facilities across the countries. So this is quite impressive. If I look at that, so despite the crisis, we are seeing pockets of opportunities. So I'm going to give the question back to Noémie, actually, since you just talked about Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire as examples. Where do you see, in terms of economic outlook or business opportunities, the most interesting sectors for companies, for investors, and most importantly, how can companies or interested participants on this webinar access or get access to those key sectors? Could you give us some insight from Francophone West Africa, Noémie?
Yes, with pleasure. So West Africa generally is a region with a lot of opportunities. I mean, before COVID and during COVID, after COVID, some opportunities will still be here. But after asking some of our contacts in those countries, and after also analyzing a little bit more the situation, we saw that the sectors of health, medical equipment, and pharma are quite promising. I mean, most of the countries have tried to develop solutions, local solutions, and the infrastructures are also being developed. Governments are realizing that they need to invest and to put efforts in that sector. So there will be some opportunities coming. So this is linked to the next sector, construction and infrastructures. Some projects have still were still going on even during the pandemic. Of course, some projects, construction projects, were slowed down because of travel restrictions and so on. But there will be, or there is still some opportunities in these sectors for European companies also. And of course, we have talked about it already, the e-commerce and digitalization. We all know that Africa is quite advanced, or was already quite advanced in these sectors, and it has really boosted those sectors with, for example, all which is like online commerce, e-commerce, and mobile money, for example, or different applications have been developed. For example, in Togo, to an application to support the informal sector, applications with information, etc. And the sector of energy and environment. I mean, energy is a topic anyway for the whole region, and it will stay so. And environmental issues, I mean, are still there. Sanitation issues, etc. Water are sectors that are still important, and where projects are still being developed. And even maybe even more after this crisis or during this pandemic. But maybe Richard can tell us also a little bit about Ghana, which sectors also are relevant, or where are the opportunities lying?
Thank you, Noémie. Just a short intermission. I see a few of our participants raising their hand. Unfortunately, we will not have enough time to let everybody speak. So we invite you to type your question in the Q&A box. So we'll pull these questions in as we move along. Thank you. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, thank you, Kat and Naomi. Yeah, Naomi, similar to opportunities in West African Francophone countries, yeah, in Ghana as well, there are opportunities in the health sector, just making reference to what the government of Ghana, and as well as supported by the private sector in terms of the new testing facilities, as well as the hospitals to be constructed. And this will position German or European businesses who are basically into manufacture supplies of medical health equipment to look into these sectors as an opportunity. As well, when you make reference to the construction sector in Ghana, ideally, COVID is a phase, and there are some traditional sectors in Ghana which are basically still booming. For the construction sector, for instance, this sector in Ghana has seen steady growth for the past 5 years and continues to be the experience even in this COVID period. Governments have so many projects in the pipeline, including of road infrastructure, including of railway development. These are some of the developments that could be of major interest to European and German businesses as well. Interestingly enough, the mining sector was not affected or was not even part of some of the sectors that were locked down during the lockdown period in Ghana, if I may put it that way. The mining sector, since the start of COVID, this pandemic in Ghana, have seen growth. For instance, the price of gold has increased about 9.6%, which is, not the case when you look at the oil and gas industry at the moment in Ghana. Yeah. As Michael rightly indicated, IT sector should be of interest for both European and German businesses as well. Just recently, the Minister of Trade and Industry in Ghana met the press and indicated that most current study indicate that the spread of COVID is more in the workplaces, and as such, employers should make sure most of their employees can work remotely. And looking at this trend, of course, the demand of IT equipment or infrastructure will be increasing, because also backed by the Ministry of Labor, effective of 1st of July in Ghana, they'll be visiting facilities to make sure things like of this are put in place for or by the employers. So IT sector also looks bright in Ghana. For German businesses, could also take the opportunity in coming up with softwares that can be more applicable for just the African market or maybe Sub-Saharan Africa market. This could be of very important for this market. Let me put it that way. Who knew Zoom will get to this extent? It only took COVID-19 for Zoom to make such a progress in the market. Yeah. Kat, let me hand back to you. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. A question in between that we got from the audience to both you, Richard, and Noemi. Can technicians from Germany come to your country or the countries? Richard, maybe you go first.
Yeah, let me start. At the moment, the borders are still closed, both sea, land, and air. So at this moment, there's no way there will be access to the Ghana. Physically, a technician cannot be here. And even if the borders are open, which we presume should be somewhere after August or September, like presumably, this technician might undergo 2 weeks of quarantine, as most of the countries are also observing this kind of protocol. Yeah.
Yeah, in other countries in the region, it looks a little similar. For now, the borders are still closed. The airports are slowly reopening, but for internal flights only in most of the countries. And we are talking about reopening to international travel in August, September, but also without knowing yet exactly conditions, but for now it is not possible to, unfortunately, to travel in or out of West Africa, of the most West African countries.
Thank you very much. And before I move over back to Nigeria, how can companies or investors or interested participants on this call access those opportunities that you just highlighted or outlined?
Yes. Let me begin. Since since we are here, I mean, representing German business interests, we are here to support German businesses who would like to have a footprint or look into these sectors as their main focal point. We, as the Chamber of Commerce in Ghana, responsible for also West African Francophone countries, can always discuss with these investors to support them in that regard. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There was also a question, and this fits in nicely. I'll read out the question. In terms of collaboration and thinking outside the box, how best can the trilingual cultural or lingual interface, meaning English, French, German, be brought to bear in making communication easier in optimization of related business interactions? Of course, there are various ways of doing that. But what you are seeing and hearing here today is actually a prime example of how we can help as the network of the delegations of German industry and commerce in West Africa, as we're combining the German connection. Of course, we're all English speaking, and then especially Noémie Simon, the regional coordinator based out of Accra, can help you with any business communication and interaction and market research in Francophone West Africa. So if you're struggling with any of the communication or with market information, etc., come and talk to us. As you can see, we're working very closely together between the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce here in Nigeria and the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana that also covers Francophone West Africa. I'll say a few words about Nigeria before we miss this. Nigeria as well, opportunities arising from or despite the corona pandemic mainly lie in the increased diversification of the economy. Nigeria historically is dependent on oil exports. With the volatility of oil prices, of course, that's very challenging. The COVID-19 relief efforts focus very much on promoting local manufacturing, which doesn't immediately sound like a great opportunity for foreign investors, but it's a great opportunity for local investors and a great opportunity for international business partners, suppliers, etc. We are currently focusing on growth sectors such as agriculture. We're looking at a population of about 200 million Nigerians in Nigeria alone. If you look at the West African sub-region, of course, those numbers are even higher. As you've heard from my colleagues in Ghana and Francophone West Africa, we see increased investment or expect increased investment in the health sector. There was also a question from a participant about the pharma sector, more detailed, the pharmaceutical packaging industry. There will certainly be opportunities, and we invite you, if you have a specific idea, to talk to us, to contact us, and we can help you collect the respective market information and also find potential business partners for you. This applies to Nigeria, Ghana, and Francophone West Africa, as you see the team represented here today. The whole topic of e-commerce, telehealth, distance services will continue to grow. So that is also an area that we focus on. Nigeria specifically, don't forget that the population growth, of course, bears challenges in terms of income distribution, poverty levels, but also carries huge opportunities in terms of labor force. The potential for education and training is huge. And you will always have a certain level of local demand, especially when it comes to food, to basic commodities, and to consumer goods. In general, the government has understood that Nigeria needs to become less dependent on oil export. So again, the focus on local manufacturing and processing bears opportunities. I wanted to underline what explained for AHK Ghana. We're quite similar in our structure. We have dedicated departments that focus on specific sectors. Those departments are not 100% the same here in Nigeria and in Ghana. There are some variations. But for example, the areas of business development, those are the services that we provide to companies and associations. So if you have, as I mentioned before, a specific question about one sector or one product and you want to find out what the opportunities are, come and talk to us. We also focus on energy and environment, skills development. Those apply to both Ghana and Nigeria, including Francophone West Africa for Ghana. And then we also focus on agribusiness, innovation and startups. And then in Ghana, Ghana also has a competence center in mining. So you see our portfolio is very broad. Don't hesitate to contact us. The worst we can say is that we also don't know, but we can tell you how you could fill the gap in market research. Generally, because of, I'm going to skip this slide because you can download it later, but because of Corona, of course, all of us here in Nigeria and in Ghana have been forced to move a lot of our services online. This is a huge opportunity for us to learn, but also to reach more people. And as Dr. Blank said in the very beginning, a great opportunity for our network to work more closely together and bring you services that help you grow your business across not only the region, but if you like, the continent or even the world. So consider us an entry point to reach out to the markets of your choice. Again, those slides will be available later, so don't bother about details. You can read all of those later. I want to give you a quick outlook of what's coming before. I think there are a few more questions that I haven't seen yet. We have some interesting dates coming up. On this slide, I want to highlight the one in the middle, the West African Clean Energy and Environment Trade Fair and Conference. This is a conference that historically has been run in Accra for the West African sub-region. Because of Corona, this year it's moving online. It was supposed to move to Lagos for the first time, and we would have loved to see WACI in Lagos, but with a new opportunity, we move it online. So check out this event that we're organizing together with AHK Ghana. All the information is on the website that you see listed there. We're focusing on clean energy, water, and circular economy topics in September. And the other announcement I want to make, you see it here on the right. The Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana and the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Nigeria are currently working with the Global Business Network of GIZ. They have offices, for example, in Senegal, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Cameroon. So we work very closely with them, and we're currently preparing another dedicated West Africa webinar series that will dive more deeply into target industries and sectors. So if you have the feeling that today was a bit not detailed enough for your specific industry, watch out for the announcements of this webinar series that will start very soon. Let me check what questions have come up in the meantime, if I manage to take full control of, here we are. I'm checking what other questions we had. Okay, we have we have a few questions about flights and people coming to the countries, including movement across the region. So for example, from Ghana to Nigeria, difficulties upon entry into the countries. I think we already mentioned one point or two. I don't know, Richard, Noemi, do you want to explain further about travel restrictions, immigration restrictions, currently for travelers coming from outside Africa, but also those traveling within West Africa?
I can quickly add to what I told before. For now, the restrictions are still in place, quarantines are still in place in most of the countries, but I think the ECOWAS had a meeting some few days ago, and we're talking about reopening the borders inside ECOWAS soon. I think 15th July or end of July was announced, but concerning each country's, the restriction at the entrance to each country, this we will have to have a closer look depending on to have. I think every country has its own regulations in terms of quarantine. So depending on the country, we can have a closer look. But for now, it's still not really possible, or still a little difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. There are also one or two questions about difficulties when coming back to the country, but also difficulties in setting up business anew or again. I think this is the same. We are monitoring the situations too early to be able to say what the specific impacts are. What we do see in most countries in the region is a focus on local investors and local companies when it comes to prioritization of relief measures, for example. So as much as entrepreneurs are getting support, there is a tendency, at least I know for Nigeria and Ghana, to focus on local entrepreneurs first. But how it plays out in detail, we need to wait and see. And the same for travel restrictions, as Noemi was just saying. I'm going through other questions. Other major areas of challenges or opportunities out of Nigeria, agriculture, food security, and security, intelligence, and surveillance. I'm not sure whether out of Nigeria means outside Nigeria. So the two sectors, agriculture, food security, and the second sector, security, intelligence, and surveillance. Comments from Ghana or Francophone West Africa? Richard, Noemi?
Richard, no? Okay, I can just say a few words. Maybe Richard can complete after. In terms of food security and food, what was the second? Food security and
the security industry in terms of surveillance.
Okay. Yeah, the food sector. Yeah, it was quite a question to try to, as you said, Katarina, to give the opportunity to local businesses to improve and to look into the sector of food industry and agricultural sector to not rely on too many imports from outside. So, and concerning security in general, I think, okay, for that one, I will maybe leave it to Richard because I don't really have a great idea of this sector.
Yeah. Yeah, let me maybe start with the food security in Ghana. Ghana has a buffer stock for our food, and this buffer stock has been greatly monitored by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, making sure this pandemic does not take a toll of we running out of food, because the concentration, as also indicated by Naomi, is more or less we've been self-dependent in terms of food production in Ghana. Also, in terms of security surveillance, yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, Ghana is going for our elections very soon, and it's more or less in terms of politics, a little bit politics at the moment, but that does not create any kind of security tension in Ghana at the moment. Yeah. And I should put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, just to close around for Nigeria, as I said, the agribusiness and food industry, the outlook is generally positive. Of course, currently there are some supply chain issues. The whole area of security surveillance has been a growth sector in Nigeria, and the current outlook is that it will remain such, not necessarily because of COVID, but it's an interesting and important sector in Nigeria that will develop further. For all of these questions that are more industry related and maybe more precise, considering a certain product or industry, or you may even have a question for your specific company or for your prospective company, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us depending on your target market. We'd be happy to provide market information, look for business partners for you. So send us your request and feedback, how we can help you out, and which services we can offer and at what fee. I see there are two more questions that I'm going to take, and then we're wrapping it up. One question is update on what the Nigerian government is doing for the healthcare sector. This is Nigeria specific. In Nigeria, as much as part of the relief funds from the Nigerian government have been allocated to the healthcare sector, this is now AHK Nigeria speaking, assume that these funds will be used for the emergency relief, but will not necessarily provide a foundation for longer term developments in the health sector, very different from what Richard presented for Ghana, for example. But we do expect more private investment into the healthcare sector. The same applies to international relief funds. The European Union has disbursed some funds for Nigeria for the health sector, but only in the direct, immediate COVID-19 relief efforts. I want to close with one question because I think this is very forward-looking. The question is the German-led EU therefore able to consolidate on the AHK network to deliver on an inclusive global Commonwealth-like platform? So of course, the German-led EU, we will see some very interesting policy drives. We also know that Africa stays high on the agenda, also at that level. Whether the German-led EU will consolidate on the AHK network, I think as much as the AHK network is very strong and very important, we work directly with individual companies and investors and entrepreneurs. And as much as we consolidate market information, I think we'll grow in the region for now to your benefit and together with you before we assume that we will drive a Commonwealth-like platform in the region or across the continent. If we have skipped some questions, that some of them are very specific. We invite you to send us an email. We'll make sure that all the contact information is shared. You can also always contact Yolanda. That's the person who sent you the invite for this webinar session. She will put you in touch with the right people because I see some of your questions are very industry specific or relate directly to your individual company. We are here for you in Nigeria, in Ghana, and from Ghana also for Francophone West Africa. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. As I said, if we don't have an answer, we can give you advice how to get the answer. And just asking us the question doesn't cost you anything. If we provide you more concise market information or business development services, then we'll get into a conversation with you how to make it happen and how to make it happen for you and your business. So thank you very much for listening today. We are excited about the conversation that we've just started. Again, reach out to us, especially if we had to skip your question right now. Thank you very much to our panelists from the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana. We had Dr. Michael Blank, the delegate, who gave the opening remarks. We have Richard Eko-Mensah, who's the head of DE International. Those are the business development services for Ghana. And we had Noémie Simon, who is the regional coordinator in charge of Francophone West Africa. The recording and the slides will be made available on our website. And again, don't hesitate to reach out for your individual questions anytime. We're excited to hear from you. And thank you very much for taking the time today to listen. And you have a good day. Thank you. Bye.